I want to give everyone a look at why this offense isn't working and why there's a little bit of hope with Tua coming back. That yes, I don't think he's Superman, but these are things he fixed.
With the sixth pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select.
That's So Dolphins Talk with John Baker and Trigga Trey Proctor.
Let me check your pulse if you're not fired up.
Dude, are we good?
Dude, we're the best team in the league.
If you don't have eye black at home, you better go get some eye black.
Oh my god, we're back.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that first drive, like the first two drives and even that scoring drive, like offensively, we did everything that we have said we needed to do. We ran the ball 40 times again. Okay. Like we had the recipe for success, but our issue became when we needed our veterans to step up, Mostert and Ingold, and Jason Sanders, who, look, give it for what he's worth. He has made some clutch kicks for us this year.
Not enough.
He's the reason we have the win against Jacksonville.
I mean,
but
yeah.
I think like the news of Tua coming back, while we are 2-4, we are 2 games out of the division. Okay. We're still in second place. And we have a favorable schedule. So if you look, cover 2, they're in 3-by-1 with the tight end. And they motion down, making Ingold the 3, Waddle the 2, and Tyreek the 1. So as they pull this motion, okay, that slides this defender down, this outside linebacker. That slide off that read should automatically tell Tyler where he's throwing the football, knowing the pass route concept. Okay, let this play. Bang. Okay, Tyler's on his back foot. Reek's about to come out of his break. This linebacker currently is in position, but Tyler's taking him with his eyes correctly away from where the throwing lane could be. We let it roll. Ball comes out now with Tua in this offense. Tua is hitting this throw to Tyreek right here in the middle of the field. Okay? Right here in the middle of the field. Oops, I'll stop sharing. Bring it back. This throw should be coming right here. Now watch as this plays where that window is. And you can even watch Huntley. Huntley's about ready to throw the football. He just doesn't trust it. And he doesn't understand that while Tyreek is there, currently he's on the numbers. If he puts this on the hash where it should be, Tyreek's getting this ball. Just watch this as it plays.
He's so open. And
Huntley's scrambling out of the pocket. That's the split-second difference that we're missing with Tua running this offense. That's what makes good teams great. That's what makes a good offense or even a bad offense better, because we have a quarterback that understands how a play is going to develop and understands that if Huntley had thrown the ball when he's in this throwing stance, he has a clean pocket. He is full stride about ready to release this football to Tyreek. But for whatever reason, he doesn't trust it. And you can see Reek's about to break open. That linebacker at the top of the screen is too far out to get to him, and this linebacker at the bottom of the screen is not closing that gap. And that corner does exactly what he should do in a cover 2, which is ride the 1 until he breaks in and then fluff back into your zone, which he takes the underneath from Waddle. But that leaves Hill wide open.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little bit of, that's more than I've had in a long time.
Realistically, the AFC in general is horrible. There's like 10 teams that absolutely suck. And like 9-8, I think gets a playoff spot. I think
9-8 gets you a playoff spot.
I think 9-8 gets you a playoff spot. I think 10-7 for sure does. So that puts us with 3 more losses.
Great mug, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't know. I can't see a world where 9-8 gets you. I mean, 9-7 back in the day, you see, it could be enough to get you in the playoffs. I don't know if 9-8 gets you in the playoffs in like this NFL.
Let's go find out. Let's look at it last year.
I don't think any 9-8 teams got in.
Let's look at it.
I think you got to be 10-7 or above to get in, at minimum.
So last year,
Watch an NFC team be one of them teams.
Did the Jags get in at 9-8?
I don't think so.
Because they had Ravens at 11 or 13-4, Browns at 11, and how about the Browns 11-6 last year?
Yeah, they had a really, yeah, they actually had,
Oh, the Steelers were the final team at 10-7, weren't they?
yeah, pretty sure.
But if you look at the standings this year, there's a lot of middle of the road teams, man. And I could see a world where 9-8 gets you in. I really do.
I hope you're right. And you seeing that clip, you kind of talked me back in because I was ready to come in here and just ignite fire on this thing because something hit me this morning when I woke up. I was in the shower where I do my best thinking, and I it hit me where the huge difference in roster building is with the Dolphins versus like the Ravens or the Chiefs or the Bills. And it starts with those teams, their pillars are not players that you can acquire mid-season. Like they have holes in their team where those players are readily available all season long where you can go get somebody if you need somebody. Like you can get a pass rusher, you can get a safety, you can possibly get a receiver or a running back. You're not going to get an interior lineman, you're not going to get a tackle. You might be lucky to get an interior defensive lineman, but you can get a pass rusher. And those are the things that have hampered this team forever. And I don't know where you're going to get that outside of free agency or like actually hitting in the draft and retaining the players. And I think that like player retention under the Chris Greer era is abysmal.
No, I agree 100%. And I think we're having two different conversations. I think that conversation is 100% needs to be had. And like outside of the trade deadline, which is in 15 days, like I don't know what I mean, maybe Miles Garrett's available from a pass rush standpoint, but like I just don't really know. Like I think what we have on the roster is what we got to find a way to win with. And the thing is, the O line has graded well in almost every game.
Which is
Our defense has played really, really well.
it has.
Without even turning the defensive film on from yesterday, I knew that they played well. Like we were put in position to win that game. The fact of the matter is, you can't have two fumbles in red zone and high red zone.
No, you can't.
You can't, and you can't miss field goals.
No.
And the thing with that field goal, John, is that it takes away, it was like, that's a 13-13 ball game.
Uh-huh.
But then that also flips to where they're in scoring position already after we missed that.
Right. We didn't flip the I thought what they did really well in the first half was that they played the field position game really well. Like they kept Indy on their heels, and then that field goal really turned it around because you're right. Like the field flipped and they had a short field, and it was like, okay, that was it. The fumbles don't help, but that field goal was a defining moment in the game. And
Yeah, I mean, and it just to have Alec Ingold and Raheem Mostert be the two that hurt you the most, like those two fumbles suck, man. That's hard. So this team is not built to overcome those mistakes without Tua. We're already behind the eight ball with a backup quarterback.
oh yeah.
Like everybody needs to be perfect to win in the NFL with your quarterback.
Mhm.
Without one, you need to be like legendary most of the time. I think what I'm starting to see is that there's a lot of mistakes that we make penalty wise, and we've even said it before. Like in the past, when we didn't have Tua playing quarterback, 1st and 15 and 1st and 20 and all, it felt like, okay, well, might as well punt. See you next drive. And like that's how it's been, that's how it feels when we don't have Tua. But when Tua's on the field, he makes up for a lot of those things. When he's healthy and when he can stay healthy, he makes up for a lot of that. He makes up for a lot of McDaniel's bad play calling. I guarantee he's got us in the right position a couple times, especially towards the end of last year, where Mike just, for whatever reason, mentally can't understand the balance of when to call certain plays and when to just line up and run the football. We lined up and ran the football 40 times, okay? But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that all 40 of them was a good situation to run the football.
No,
Like,
I
just
agree.
because you run the football 40 times doesn't mean you always ran it in the right circumstance or the right situation. So again, like there's still building blocks there. I mean, we're 6 games in to a 17 game season.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a lot of season left. And I think if Tua can stay healthy, this this downward trend that we've had allowed us to figure out how to run the football when everyone knows we're running the football. Last 2 weeks, everyone knew we had to run the football, and we did it.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. My main concern is that McDaniel has fucking fullback dive and jet sweep stuck in his mind, and it is
What
going.
is that 1st and 10 fullback dive, dude? And they didn't even block it right. They blocked it like outside zone.
I don't know. I have no idea, dude. I wish fullback dive. I wish McDaniel that I wish it would have never been successful week one. I wish we would have got stuffed and they would have never went back to it because it worked one time and that's what they're going to now. And it's so frustrating. I don't understand why we're running fullback dive every 3rd and 2, it feels like.
I know. I
And
agree. And like just the mistakes in play calling and the mistakes like we don't have a good enough team to make up for it. So I mean,
and
here's what it is. Like that's a game that you really needed to win, in my opinion. Like that's a big like got to knock that one off as a win opportunity. And we played the game. We were up 10. Well, the game was going exactly how I thought it needed to go for us to win. And then you
yeah,
just can't fumble the fucking. You can't turn the ball over.
you can't. And like you're right. The game was actually playing out exactly how it should have, but it's my frustration is that it's the same people every week. It's Durham Smythe. It's Julian Hill. We can't get like we're not getting play. We're making dumb play calls. We're making so many mental mistakes, and then there's laughing on the sideline. Like
Oh yeah.
that is so bad. I don't understand why that. Nikki Smoke said it better than anyone probably could have said it today. I there's nothing funny. There should be literally no laughing at all and you have your two best players that you're spending over $200 million on, and they're laughing with your coach that can't seem to get out of his own fucking way for the
Yep.
ones calling the game for the last 4 weeks. It's quite it's embarrassing.
Yep. I agree, man. I agree. I mean, that's not good optics. I'm not gonna try to defend that. But I mean, I like,
I'm afraid that yet we've had all of these we're having these very operational issues over and over and over again. And
but I think I honestly think Tua fixes a lot of that though.
he does. He absolutely 100% with him being the leader on the field, yes. But like I don't understand why no one sat Julian Hill down and said you need to knock it the fuck off or you're going to be out of here. But he's
Yeah,
there immediately the next play again. Like there's no accountability. And like I sent you that
he's been horrible. Everything is a negative play from him, whether it be holding or
yes. It doesn't matter.
he's been horrible.
Horrible. And like I sent you that link of like Connor McDavid literally saying dig the fuck in and like I
Now they lost.
now they did lose in game 7, but he did will his team back from a 3-0 like in the
Yeah,
finals. But
he did.
I don't think there's a player on this team that does that. The Dolphins don't have somebody that does that.
To be honest with you, I think defensively they do. I think Zach Sealer and Jalen Ramsey keep that defense accountable. I really do.
I agree with that, but there's nobody on the offensive end that does
There's
that.
no one. Tyreek's not that kind of leader. Jalen Waddle's not that kind of person. Like Armstead is to a point, but like I think like everyone just gets deflated when they know. D-Bot says it all the time on the Macri show. He's like, there's times when we're going through practice that week and we know we ain't got no fucking chance in hell to win that football game because of what we're trotting out at quarterback. And I think that's literally like everyone, instead of like, hey, let's try and win these games so when he comes back, we're in a better position. Everyone's more of just like, hey, we'll probably figure it. It's not the right mindset, but that's what it's turned into.
Yeah.
And like
It's
and it puts a lot of pressure on Tua, but I mean realistically, like you want to get paid, $250 million, whatever the hell your salary cap is, then yeah, it's time to go. And I think he knows that. Like that press conference today, excellent. I love the way he handled everything. You can tell he's irritated. There's a lot more to this concussion story this time around than I think there was in the past. Um, like just to give you a download of, what was said. I don't know if you listened to it or not. Basically, he was symptom free after the next day after he was diagnosed with a concussion. He has been throwing and going through appears to be a normal quarterback football workout for 5 weeks. So
hmm
since the injury,
hmm
injury, he's not wearing a Guardian cap because there's a bunch of research coming out now that they provide no. They're 50-50 on if they provide results. Some people can say, hey, why not? What's it gonna hurt? But I think this flip side of that too is I fully believe that if you put yourself out there and are hesitant about things, like if he's wearing that Guardian cap, it just feels like he like in his mind knows like oh something could happen, and now that's always on his mind. He's just not playing a normal game of football. And
Yeah.
I think like any kind of self doubt in the NFL, especially the quarterback position, is not going to be a recipe for success. So I
No.
think like him not wearing that, and he already wears the number one rated helmet for quarterbacks with concussions. Like the Guardian cap, the way he gets concussed, the Guardian cap would not prevent. It's the whiplash that's causing his. It's like whatever it is the how he gets whiplashed. So I think
He needs
like
a damn washboard is what he needs.
he does. He needs to wear a neck roll. But like I think or that one orange. Remember the Redskins lineman that had that thing?
Yeah, he's got like that. He got like the big fat rubber pad the whole way around.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So like I
He
don't know,
needs
man. I
like
think
he almost needs like a roller coaster like headrest around so his head doesn't get bobbled around.
he
Like,
needs to put like a Formula One thing that like locks his neck in.
yeah, he needs a Hans device. Dale Earnhardt,
Look,
R.I.P.
he's fired up. He's fired up.
You can clearly
He
tell that.
didn't want to be benched.
No,
I don't think he wanted to go on the IR.
mm-mm. It's
I think that they
it's
felt
probably
forced to.
they did. There was outside pressures that were absolutely making them do that, and I understand. And the optics of that aren't good. And the optics of them throwing him out like the next week, especially what happened last time, especially at Cincinnati, like it wasn't good.
Well,
And
I agree. I agree. I had no problem with him. I think he could have missed 2 games. I don't think he needed to miss 4, but there are some things that say the longer you give yourself a break, the less likely to have long-term damage, whatever it is. I don't give a shit when he decides to play. I just know he wants to play, and that, he literally said it might be the death of me, which is fucking bad. It sent me through a wall. Like, dude said, like, I love this game so much that it might be the death of me or to the death of me or whatever. Something paraphrasing, but like he's ready to go. We just got to start stacking some wins, one game at a time. We start out with the Cardinals. Should be a winnable game. Tua historically has had good game. We've historically played well against the Cardinals, so like there's definitely a lot of hope going into this, but there's very little room for error at this point.
yeah, every week is must win at this point. I mean, you literally don't have a lot of wiggle room. You have to go what 8-3 rest of the
Ten
year.
and I think 10-7 gets you in the AFC this year.
So eight and it's
So that's 8-3.
yeah. Okay. The schedule, you're correct, is favorable. I don't there's nothing really out there that's making me fear anybody in the division outside of the Bills as usual. And I don't know. I'm
I mean,
hoping.
realistically, if you look at our schedule, I could tell you 3 losses. Now that we always do this, and it's always the people you don't think, but like our 3 losses could easily be the Bills, the Packers, and the Texans. Like those would be the 3.
Mhm. And,
Um,
and that creates the narrative though that they can't be good teams.
sure it does, but right now we're just trying to
We're
make it
just
in the
we're,
playoffs.
we're just trying to get on the dance floor.
Just trying to get on the dance floor, right? Like the 49ers aren't at all and they're losing people left and right. I mean, McCaffrey might be back by then, but like if their season's over before then, like he's probably not going to rush back.
Right. We
Like
got
they're horrible. They're not nearly as good as we thought.
yeah.
Stafford, I don't think will be back for the Monday night game with the Rams. So,
I don't
that's
I don't
them.
want to I don't want to see
So
him
it's like Cardinals and
game.
then like that Bills game week 9, and in Buffalo, where it seems like Tua always gets hurt against the Bills. Huh?
I don't want to see another primetime game.
Well, they're not. Yeah, I mean they're not the Bills when they can't flex. So we're good there. They were talking about it, but they didn't end up doing it because they already flexed the Colts
Thank God.
and somebody.
But I'm saying like that Monday night game, like I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that game. I want them to move it back to Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, me too. I agree 100%. I don't want to ever play another primetime game.
I'm I have so the McDaniel built up so much goodwill with me and all of the fans. Like he built up so much goodwill, and I feel like everything that has happened over the last 4 weeks have just magnified like what everyone said for the last 2 years. And I think like I don't know, man. If he doesn't get him in the play, if they don't make the playoffs this year, I think we got to have a conversation about hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, if I agree, if Tua stays healthy, you got to win 80 or next. You got to win 80 or next or 80 or next 11. And
Like historically,
honestly, John, let's talk like no bullshit, no bias.
okay,
Like putting Tua on this team, Cardinals should be a win. Bills, it's a toss up, could easily be a loss. The way he played, we got him for a quarter against them, so who knows? But Bills could be a loss. Rams should be a win. Raiders should be a cakewalk win. Patriots should be a cakewalk win. The Packers, it's gonna
don't
be a tough game,
tough fight,
probably a loss.
probably a loss. Yes.
Jets suck. Texans are
I think
good, but
my problem with the Jets thing is that I'm afraid that we'll split with them, and that'll be the end. Like they're gonna shit their pants that last week of the season.
well, if it comes down to that, then it comes down to that. But like, let's get ourselves in position to do that.
Well, I agree.
And then it's 49ers, Browns, Jets. Like, there's not a lot of good football teams left on that schedule.
Well, historically, if you look at when Tua is in versus Tua not in, they make the playoffs with
Yeah.
remaining schedule.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, yeah, again, all hope is definitely not lost. It sucked. Being 2-4 is like fucking horrible. But like, thank God we had an early bye this year. So like, that was one less game we had to have without him.
mhm.
So like, and we
Don't
left a couple on like we should have won the Colts game and we should have won the Titans game. Okay, is what it is. But we have no choice but to move forward. And the way Armstead's been playing, the way we've been running the football, you insert the timing offense into that, which is what I just showed.
Mhm.
Like, I was sitting there watching that game Sunday, and I kept saying to myself, how are Tyreek and Jalen not open? They are open. It's just we have an offense built around getting them the football at certain times and in certain windows. It's that West Coast style. That's what it is. It's a window offense.
Mhm.
And we haven't had a quarterback capable enough to do that. So, like, this ends two is a hill merchant and two is, only good because of the offense. Because we put four other people in this offense and they look like they don't belong in the NFL anymore. Okay. We can say that's good or not. That's probably not a good recipe for success in the
No.
future,
Yeah.
especially from a team that doesn't draft very well, and especially a team that doesn't draft quarterbacks very well.
Mhm.
Different conversation. But right now, what we have in front of us is still an ability to control our own destiny, a very favorable schedule, and a relatively healthy team going into a must-win Cardinals game.
Well, if you wouldn't have showed me that clip, I was gonna just come in here and scorch earth. But seeing that clip, it just makes me. I guess my eyes aren't deceiving me as much as what I think they are, and we need to find a quarterback to back up in this offense. There needs to be a legitimate conversation. The answer is not Skylar Thompson. I don't
I
want
don't understand why Marcus Mariota is not on this football team. I said it all offseason.
yeah.
I don't understand why him or Joe Flacco are not on this football team, both of which could run this offense.
I don't understand either. And I don't understand why like somebody I said this to you 2 weeks ago. Somebody like Dylan Gabriel should be somebody.
I agree.
I don't think he's gonna go high in the draft, but we talked about this separately that we think that Dylan Gabriel should be somebody on the Dolphins radar for the draft. I don't care if you have to spend a third round pick on him. If that's what you need to do, you need to get him in here because he's a left-handed quarterback. All of your concepts, all of your stuff, it doesn't have to change to a right-handed quarterback.
Yep.
Let him, he's not stupid. He's a gunslinger, kind of plays gunslinger-ishly. So like let's
I like Dylan Gabriel. I think he'd fit great into the backup role, learning behind Tua, and then giving him the ability to fit in where need be. But I mean, right now the task at hand is beating the Cardinals.
yeah, task at hand is beating the Cardinals. I think that Tua inserted into the offense, there is going to be significant improvement. I don't think it's going to magically turn everything around. I hope that it does.
Me too. But like we got to keep playing good defense and we got to continue to run the football. Like we've got to be a team. It's got to like our recipe for winning next week is 25 carries.
Mhm.
I need Jalen Wright to have more than 6 touches.
That's
Okay, because he is lightning in the bottle. We've got to get him the football.
got to get him in.
We need at least 25 run plays divided beside our big three, between our big three running backs. And Tua's got to throw the ball 25, 30 times. Like we've got to be able to move the offense, score points, reignite this team. It's going to take one good win, and this team's going to say, "Oh yeah, hey, we're 3-4, a game outside of 500 with a division rival."
I agree. If they get to 4-4, like
After beating the Bills, they get to 4-4 with a Bills win.
I'm not trying to put cart before the horse, but if you can get to 4-4, like now all bets are off now all bets are on the table. So we'll see, but I'm excited for this. I'm actually excited again. You reeled me back in. Um, so we got a big Fins game this weekend. Tua is back, and it's time to go. It's go time. You gotta
Good
go,
done.
you gotta go 8-3.
Got to go 8-3. That's our goal.
All right, we will see you next week on That's So Dolphins Talk.
Later.